Lampedusa. These men come for a better life, but they end up in truly squalid conditions. Their only hope to make enough money to escape a second time. And so they fall victim to modern-day slavery. Every day, gangmasters pick and choose those they want to use for manual labour, paying them just a pittance for their work. Lampedusa lies between Sicily and Tunisia, 160 miles from the African coast. Our Europe correspondent Juliet Bremner travelled to the tiny island for this exclusive report.
Under a cloak of darkness, the Italian Coast Guard delivers its latest cargo of immigrants. These are some of the thousands of Africans who leave Libya every week. They're in search of a better life. They found the tiny island of Lampedusa.
This is now the peak season for refugees. The waters are flat, it's their best chance of survival. They will each have paid several £1,000s to make this crossing. The promise was they would get to Europe.
The scale of this summer invasion overwhelms the holiday island. In 2 nights, we witnessed more than 400 clandestini, or illegals, as the Italians call them, being brought ashore. International charity workers provide emergency supplies and a basic medical check.
Oh, they are somehow numbed because of the position of sitting. That's why you see that they are feeling cold.
They arrive in rubber dinghies. Up to 36 people can be packed into these boats. There's enough water to last a few days, but with no compass, it's still a huge risk. By the time they're picked up, all papers and passports have been destroyed to prevent them being identified and sent straight back. There's no doubt, though, some have been travelling for months.
I came from Eritrea. My journey started before 3 months. It's about 3 months.
Europe may be trying to signal that its borders are closed, but thousands of people are still willing to risk their lives. More this year, it seems, than ever before.
That included more than 50 women and children rescued from an old fishing boat. Since Italy is the first European country that these families have set foot in, the law says this is where they must stay. But as we discovered, Italy is unprepared or unwilling to cope with this influx of immigrants. Lampedusa makes its money from tourism. It doesn't want sunbathers frightened off by the thought of illegals arriving on the golden sands. Well out of sight is the detention centre with just 200 beds. There are frequent complaints it's unhygienic and overcrowded. When we tried to get a look inside, we were politely but firmly turned away.
British television, is there someone we can talk to? No?
They can't keep the immigrants here, so they fly them out as quickly as possible. Few can realise what horror lies ahead. In the southeast corner of Sicily, I found a scarcely believable place. A filthy camp, home to about 300 African men. 28-year-old Ali is one of them. He escaped from the war in Darfur, hoping Europe would welcome him as a refugee. Instead, he lives in squalor, without money or accommodation.
Here, it's our past room. We used to take shower here. This is our past room.
Where is the water?
Water, there is no water here, of course. We took water from that small village.
He and his friends wish they had never come.
We hope that here we change our lives, but I think here and there it's the same. Maybe therefore it's better than here, I think so.
So you feel that Darfur, even when there's war, is maybe better than here?
I think it's better because I know how to solve my problems there, but here no.
This is Europe's hidden problem. It looks as if I'm in a grove of olive and lemon trees. But then, concealed under hundreds of trees are the most basic kind of camps. The kind you'd expect to find in Africa. The twist is, we're in southern Italy.
They come to Casibile as cheap labour to work illegally in the fields. Employed by local farmers picking potatoes, they're paid £25 a day. Despite their numbers, these men might as well be invisible. But Médecins Sans Frontières believes it's time Europe woke up and saw their plight.
This problem cannot be treated just by this little village in Sicily. this is a European problem. We have to really push to have a European policy to welcome these persons in a correct way and to give them a future, because those persons here don't have any future in these conditions.
Every day brings more Lampedusa landings. Men and women who've struggled physically and emotionally to make this journey, only to realise it would have been better if they hadn't bothered. Juliet Bremner, ITV News, Lampedusa.
Well, Kostas Moskokoritis is from the charity Médecins Sans Frontières, and he joins us from Rome now. Good evening. Now, you work with these people in Lampedusa. How has the situation there been allowed to get so bad?
The situation is critical. The reception center in Lampedusa has a capacity of less than 200 persons, and today there are more than 1,000 persons in the center. There is simply not enough space, there are not enough services for them. And unfortunately, this is not the first time that the situation occurs.
Now, you're obviously a charity working with these people, but what are the Italian authorities doing to solve the problem?
The fact is that the authorities are facing the problem, the issue of migration, with short-term actions. As long as they will continue facing the problem with this kind of actions, the problem will continue. The only concrete action taken so far was to repatriate forcibly migrants with full charters to Libya, as it happened several times in the past. The solution, the overall solution is political, but from a humanitarian point of view, Médecins Sans Frontières can say that the reception conditions have to be improved. Access to health care, living conditions. We shouldn't forget that among these people there are a lot of asylum seekers, people coming from Darfur, people coming from countries in war.
Okay, Mr. Moskokoritis, thank you very much indeed.